Okay, so next question is from Angry Pooch, and he asked, have I always been into fish keeping? What's my favourite species of fish, and why did I want a pond? Yes, I have always liked fish and fish keeping. I've had a few fish tanks when I was little, and there's just something that draws us to fish. I just love them for some reason, I don't know why. My favourite fish are rummy-nosed tetras, as I mentioned earlier on in the video as well. I really can't explain why I like them. Might be something to do with the bright red noses. And they just look really good in the school, like a silver body creates a nice shimmering effect. So I guess the reason why I wanted a pond was because we had an area of dead grass in the bottom of the garden where we used to have a rabbit hutch, because I had a rabbit for 7 years I think, and he died quite a few years ago. So yeah, we had an area of just dead grass. It was kind of waste ground, so I said, can I put a preformed pond there? My mum she didn't really like the idea of having a pond there, but my dad did. So one day while my mum was at work, my dad said, come on, let's go to the garden centre, get a preformed pond. So my mum came home from work and she saw there was a hole in the back garden, and I was ready to put the liner in. So I guess she didn't really have a say in it, but me and my dad put the pond in, and then I expanded the pond, put the flexible liner in, and I just like ponds. It's nice in summer to sit outside with a drink, just watch the fish jumping for flies. It's just okay. So next question is from J Greenstone 12, and they asked, what type of hiding spots could they use for little fish to take cover from larger ones? The first thing I'd suggest is probably live plants. Oxygenating plants like cambomba are great because they're very bushy and they've got lots of places for the fish to actually hide. They also benefit the water quality by removing nitrates and putting oxygen in the water. So I'd suggest bushy plants like cambomba first of all. Other plants will do great, Java fern, Java moss, things like that. If you don't want to go with live plants, fake plants will be great. They'll hide in fake plants, no bother. If you don't want to have any type of plant in at all, you can just go with aquarium ornaments, little castles, things like that. Fake rock, they'll hide in there. Fake wood. Real wood is great for hiding places. You just need a lot of kind of crevices where the larger fish can't get to, but the smaller fish can. So yeah, that's all I really know about that. Right, so the next question is from Domino Do 007, and he said, what are the pros and cons of dirt and Seachem fluorite sand? That's actually a really good question. I actually believe fluorite sand is better. I've just had better results with it in 1 week than I have with dirt. But if you want to know the pros and cons, I believe dirt has more nutrients in than fluorite sand, and when dirt is disturbed by cory catfish or other digging fish, then it'll float up and kind of cause a few particles in the water which aren't very attractive. When you disturb the Seachem fluorite sand, it just goes straight back down to the bottom. Even if you kind of throw it around with your hand, it'll sink straight back down to the bottom. So it's a lot more of a heavier substrate. The dirt needs to be capped with a gravel. It's not really good capped with sand, because then the air can't get down inside the dirt and help the plant roots. Whereas the Seachem black fluorite sand is sand, so it's great for things like catfish who like to dig. Dirt is initially quite cloudy and then it clears up, and that's the same with the Seachem fluorite sand. This tank was initially quite cloudy for the first 4 or 5 days, but through the week you've seen this tank progress and it's eventually crystal clear, and now I can plant things with minimal mess. I can really mess around with the substrate and hardly any dust will come up. The only real downside to this fluorite sand is that you've got to rinse it really well before you put it in the tank, or else it'll make a real mess. but filter floss will take it out in a week or two. So if you're patient, it's going to pay off in the long run. But dirt is great for beginners if you want good plant growth, and it's very cheap, whereas fluorite sand is more expensive. But in the long term, I just believe fluorite sand's a better substrate. I know some people disagree, but that's just my opinion. Okay, so the next comment is from Student of Celicy, and they've left quite a long kind of riddle-like comment. It's kind of like a poem, but I'm going to answer it anyways, because I said I'd answer every question in the last video. So I'll read it out, but it's quite long. So this is the actual question. 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish, black fish, blue fish, old fish, new fish. This one has a little car, this one has a little star. Say, what a lot of fish they are. Yes, some are red and some are blue, some are old and some are new. Some are sad, some are glad, some are very, very bad. And then they've went on to say, why are they sad and glad and bad? Well, I think fish are just like people. Some fish might be sad because they might have lost a loved one quite close to them, because when they're actually in pet shops, a lot of the relatives actually die, so that might be why some of them are sad. Some might be glad because they've went with a good owner who's going to take care of them. And some are bad because something might have happened to them in their life that's kind of turned them bad, and they might actually bully other fish. So just be careful of that. Okay, so the next question is from Uberfish, and they've actually watched my videos for quite a while and they've left comments on them for quite a while as well. So just want to say thank you for leaving lots of comments and things, being so supportive. And their question was, what are your ambitions for future fish? What will you do when you reach 1,000 subs? And they've asked, what do I prefer, the Yogs cast or Total Biscuit? My ambitions for future fish are either to get clown loaches or rainbow fish. I'd love to try them, as I mentioned earlier in the video. I really don't know what I'm going to do for 1,000 subscribers. You'll just have to wait and see. I'm not going to make special vids every 100 subscribers anymore, because it does really get old. But for 1,000 subscribers, I might do some type of giveaway. I'm not sure about the laws on giving away plants to other countries. I'm going to have to read up on that. If it turns out I can give away live plants, I will do that. But I might have to give away some type of object, some fish tank object, an old filter, something. I'm really not sure. So they said the Yogs cast or Total Biscuit. So I'm guessing they mean which do I prefer. I like the Yogs cast. If you don't know what the Yogs cast is, I'm currently playing a game called Minecraft. I've just bought it. It's a really good game. It's a bit pixelated, but yeah, I like it, and I watched the Yogs cast on YouTube. It's just basically a duo of friends who go around on the game Minecraft talking, doing adventures. So yeah, I prefer the Yogs cast.